Namo Shakyamuni Buddha, the learn of practitioners. I would like to talk about my mind this whole morning. Before I came here, I texted my teacher inviting her to come today with me. After that, she replied that today is Father's Day. She cannot come. I completely forgot today is Father's Day. And I just thought to myself, yeah, maybe she's busy. She cannot come. After that, she texted back and said she can come with her parent. After I hear her text, I feel happy until now. Can you give me some feedback on this feeling? The happiness when you want to share Buddhism, to share the happiness in practice. And when we see we have received good feedback from the our sharing, it's normal that we feel happy. But for our method, we want to ensure we don't want to attach to that feelings, thinking that is something we want to satisfy upon. If we have desires, it can lead to a lot of affliction, because if we cannot gain that desire, we feel upset. And if we gain that desire, we fear to lose it. So we keep falling into seeking, gaining, and fearing. And if we want to truly maintain nothing to seek, nothing to gain, nothing to fear, meaning disconnect from the object, we have to practice. Sometimes we are not even aware that we make mistakes that affect other people because of our ignorance, attachment. It creates a lot of obstacles on our practice. But due to ignorance, sometimes we cannot see it. And we keep making mistakes, but then we draw experience from it and continue to practice. Doesn't matter how often we fall, we make mistakes, we still continue to return to the practice. Cultivation means to correct, to clear up all of ignorance and attachment, so that eventually we will be free. Until we eradicate subject and object. So make sure you don't attach to any feelings. Return to the practice. Happy or sad, always practice. Meaning ask the question, raise the doubt. Nam Buddha, thank you, Thầy. I understand. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha, dear Thầy, dear everyone. Just hearing Cô Như Hiếu share, I feel like I want to praise Cô Như Hiếu teacher, because she could bring over her parents over here for Father's Day. I forgot about this Father's Day as well. When I first started become a nun, I wanted to do something for my parents. But by the time I became a nun, my dad already passed away. I didn't get a chance to bring both my parents here. I don't know what to say, but I really really want to praise um, this action. Also, thanks to this opportunity, I would like to ask you to um, remind us again about our practice so it can benefit the newcomer today. When we talk about Buddhism, we talk about the condition. Um, when we have the conditions with our family members, whether it's parent, children, or wife, husband, you know, those conditions. For example, wife, husband requires at least three previous lives. Or we will talk about the three lives, the life in the past, the current life, and the life in the future, are connected to one another. All of the cause and effects interrelated. If they have the conditions, the interconnected condition, then for sure they will have certain relationship. We are sentient beings, so for sure we have certain connection with one another. So as a way to pay gratitude to our current parent as well as all of our parents in previous lives, whether they still here or they pass away, if we can find a way to plant the seed of a practitioner of three jewels and help them take refuge in the three jewels. The three jewels are Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Without the three jewels, we always live in the prison of the four elements. Usually, if we are kept prison, we know right away that we don't have freedom. Same thing, we are trapped in this body of four elements: birth, old age, sickness, and death. And when we have to go through sickness and death, it's a lot of suffering just to reborn in another life and repeat the cycle. So we take refuge in the three jewels to receive the teachings of the three jewels, so we can be understand that this life is the life of the prison of the four elements. We keep go after greed, desires, again, all of those illusions make us upside down and suffering. And once we sick and die, we we go into another life. Like if we work really hard to make a lot of money, but when we pass away, those money go right away to someone else, either to strangers or create conflicts within the children and the family. So sometimes we think we are doing good things, but actually we create a lot of harms without knowing. And sometimes when we pass away, we still regret what we didn't get to carry with us. Even though we know carry them with us, we still have to experience that feeling of regrets. Thanks to the teachings of the three jewels, we aware that those are illusions. Those are prison of the four elements. So first, we need to take refuge in the three jewels, rely on the three jewels to learn the Dharma of liberation, not to rely on the three jewels to seek and pray to gain anything. That is superstition. We rely on the three jewels to raise the right belief and to learn the Dharma to return to the three jewels nature, return to our original nature. Or we also say that we identify our own treasure at our hometown and rely to live. That's why the patriarch has a saying, as long as you want to come back, you will be able to. But lots of people don't want to go back to their hometown. They keep chasing um, outside. Or uh, the patriarch also have a funny example. We ride the ox and then looking for the ox. The ox represent the mind. We look for the mind outside of the mind. Therefore, we are not able to see it. There's a lot of examples which seems funny and un, uh, unreasonable, but that's actually the reality. So we should rely and take refuge to the three jewels to learn. And learning is not just from a small booklet, just from a one-day visit, but it's a continuous learning, always meditating, rely on the wise teachers to develop our spiritual practice. Each of us now already mature. None of us is little. So we already spent many years chasing after all of those desires, but we never get the permanent peace, even though we might be peaceful for temporarily. Still come after that is a lot of up and down, because this is just a dualistic happiness. It's not a happiness that will lead to suffering later. It's not the ultimate happiness. So our monastery specialize in patriot chant, and patriot chant is very simple. We don't emphasize on any form, any shape. Whatever responsibility, whatever shape and form you are under, whether you young or old, smart or not young or old, any qualification you still be able to practice, even if you sick or healthy, even if you forgetful. You know, like some people have sickness that they cannot control their body. They are controlled by the sickness and they might be forgetful. But as long as you, anytime you remember, you can always practice. So as long as you're willing to practice, it doesn't matter what qualifications you have. So what is Hoa Thou? What is Patriot Chan? What is direct versus indirect methods? We need to continue to rely to on the wise teachers and Dharma friends to continue to learn. But we have to also combine with the practice. Just like a sick person come to the hospital, he or she needs to cooperate with the doctor and also have to take the medicine and gradually modify the prescription to treat the sickness. And when the treatment become effective, our sickness will subside. So our sickness here is the great sickness of birth and death. The medicine is the hoa thou. So learning is similar to visiting the doctor. For hoa thou meditation, we have the booklet how to practice. Please take one home and pick a question to practice. The 4 questions include the first question: before heaven and earth came into existence, what was I? We ask the question to raise the doubt. We don't want to look for the answer. Any answer is not what the intention from the patriarch, but we still need to continue to ask, to investigate. I will read all of the 5 questions. You can either pick it now or select it when you get home. The second question is: before my parents were born, what did my original face look like? The third question is: where did I come from when I was born, and where will I go when I die? The fourth question is: it is not a mind, the mind is it is not the Buddha, it's not a thing, what is it? And the last one is: all Dharma return to one, where does one return to? So our patriarch in the past got enlightened from one of these 5 questions. And our wise teacher select from all of many koans and recorded teaching for us to choose to practice. Right now, your habits, your affliction, illusion always keep changing in your mind. One day it's like this, the other is like that. Even when you sleep, you still have differentiation, right or wrong, good or bad. And that's why it leads to happiness, sad, love, hatred, etc. So these status are in within the one thought of ignorance. Sometimes we assume we're right, thinking other is wrong. And then one day we think this is right. In the future, we think it's wrong. So depending on who the person is, the time, the place, right or wrong can change a lot. And all of those things make us upside down because our consciousness always create assumptions. And in order to sweep that one thought of ignorance, we need to go to the root and uproot its foundation. So the ignorance can fall apart. Just like if you uproot a tree, then all of the leaves and the branches will die. You don't need to try to pick out every single leaf. Sometimes when you try to cut the top of the tree, thinking it dies, but as long as the root still live, then one time when the conditions is right with all the water and weather, the tree will continue to grow. So our practice help us return to the root, and that root is Hoa Thou. Hoa is the speech. Thou is the head of the speech. Our mind right now always raise the thought of speaking. All of that status are one thought of ignorance. And the place where no thought arises is called beginless ignorance. And the doubt will help us end that beginless ignorance. So each of us pick a question and investigate on that question. So investigate Hoa Thou is the same in investigate the mind. So our patriot said, a question seems meaningless and flavorless, but it helps us sweep all of those ignorance thoughts and lead us to the root of the ignorance. And also that doubt will help cut through the ignorance so we can be free and free from the prison of four elements, the prison of attachment. And by then we can control ourselves and end all suffering. So you don't need to sit in front of the Buddha. You don't need to like try to dress up or make it too complicated in order to practice. You know, if you if that helps you to practice, then it's okay, but it is not required. And when we listen to the Dharma talk, only when we open up our hearts and sincerely listen to the Dharma talk, then you can really take in the teachings. If we just carelessly be here and hearing the teaching, but not really serious on the learning, then it's not that helpful. Only when we're serious with the practice, then we will have the liberation. So for our practice, we don't want to use our consciousness to seek out the liberation. If we have the seeking, then we will stay at the one thought of ignorance. Therefore, we need to learn and stay close to the monastery and the wise teachers to help us untie all of the knots and misunderstanding so we can receive the good effects of the practice. So the booklet has the Vietnamese, the English, and the Chinese version. If whatever version you prefer, you can ask for it. But if you just read it but don't know how to apply it into practice, you will feel bored. But if you continue to learn and practice, you will become more and more understanding of the book and will value the teaching. So a true person who look for liberation will continue to practice until they reach there. So today is a good condition for us to introduce this method. We apply the practice every day and remind and advise anyone who has a condition with this temple to practice. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Dear everyone, um, the sharing of the Dharma friends and you today are really essential for the new beginner who new to our monastery, and also is a beginning preparation for us to enter this method of Patriot Chan. I want to share my own experience first. I will share the first experience so you can help give me more advice. A new beginner usually are not familiar with asking the question and is the doubt. There is a while that we don't have the doubt, but if we gradually ask and apply to practice, then eventually we will have the doubt. When we have the doubt, then naturally we will understand your teachings and the sharing of the friends. Sometimes from the practice, we can feel that our life have some benefits because afflictions might become less and we might feel like we gain something. And from there, sometimes we have the thought of wanting to help others. These are good thoughts, but sometimes, for example, we want to share. For example, me, I want to share with my wife. Sometimes when I talk to her, she's still not able to understand, and she's give out her opinion, and that pissed me off. And sometimes I do my practice without knowing. So sometimes it's a good thought from the beginning, but the listener cannot accept and disagree with us. And at that time, when my mind still not able to be in control, and I start to feel unhappy. Or when we talk to someone, they willing to listen, we feel happy. But even if we feel happy, but the listener still haven't raised the mindset to believe in this method and apply this method to practice, then even if they hear it, they will forget later. They will not be able to experience the miracle effects of this method. So if they listen, they understand, but they don't practice, it's the same thing. They don't really benefit from it. So sometimes we want to share with other people and hope them for them to practice this method, but that hope seems to be also a seeking, and that seeking eventually cause trouble to our practice. So this is something I want to share based on my own experience. Uh, so that any of the Dharma friends who have this thought maybe um, practice further before we can share. Because if we don't have the practice, then we still gonna get influenced by the outside. Because if they listen to us, we're happy. If they don't listen to us, we feel sad. Um, thank you, Thầy. Thank you, everyone. What I Hưng just shared still sounds very reasonable, but it still come from our consciousness. Of course, we always want to share with our family member, but if our seeking is too strong, we will lose our practice. The Buddha also taught us, they also advised us in order to protect the Sangha, the Dharma. We want to share the Dharma, but share it without the object of seeking and gaining. But if we don't do anything, it's still are within dualistic, uh, the dualistic part of duality, because we're still within the four statements and our own thinking. But that is our habits. Whether we want to end it or not, we cannot control. So we just need to find a way to maintain our practice so that that wants will not control us, like the want to do it or to not do it. So the Buddha always advise us, yeah, we give advice, but we don't want to give advice too much. And he give out a measure. We only advise 3 times, no more than 3 times. But sometimes we keep repeat and repeat many times. Um, so now we know to practice, just return to the practice, and it will help us to even forget whatever we calculate in the beginning. Whether it's successful or not, we will not be concerned about. Always remember, return to the practice. So, what if it happened the way we don't want it? It's okay, it's a dream. Return to the practice. So, when we make mistake and we repent on the mistake, all of those are still within the dreams. So, the most important thing is to maintain the practice to awake from the dream. So, maintain the practice is the ultimate true repentance. So we'll prostrate to the Buddha, chanting the sutra, etc. All of those the Buddha already taught us. If we have the practice, then each of the teachings of the Buddha and the patriarch, we will be able to understand completely and become an experience to help us. So the most important thing is return to the doubt, and in order to have the doubt, we need to ask the question and also strengthen the belief in the original mind so that eventually it will help strengthen our concern with birth and death, and all of them will happen automatically and naturally. So all we do is find a way to disconnect from duality Nothing else can do that beside the practice. So thank you. The sharing of anh Hưng is very practical. A lot of us know about it, but still, we still fall into that mistake. So instead of keep repeating multiple times, we return to the practice. Time for walking meditation. Nam mô Sa Muni Buddha.